Cordyceps mushroom is by far one of my favorite mushrooms, and I prescribe it all the time. In this video, I share with you 5 amazing benefits that Cordyceps mushrooms has.
You're watching the Dr. Jake podcast.
I'm Dr. Jake. I'm a naturopathic medical doctor and integrative physician in Salt Lake City, Utah. On this channel, I share with you how you can heal your body down to the root cause and get your energy back without any harmful drugs or surgery. So be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. I recently filmed a podcast with my co-host Teresa Marie in which we talked about the 5 medicinal benefits of Cordyceps mushroom. Make sure to stick around to the end because we're going to talk about the most impactful piece this has for everyone and how amazing it can be for your life. So Cordyceps, obviously it's a fungus, it's a mushroom, so it's going to be growing in the dirt, it's going to be growing on trees and other plants throughout. But it's mostly was first found more in the Asian area in China. It's been used for hundreds of years. It's been a traditional medicine remedy used for various health conditions for hundreds of years. So the Chinese know a lot about it, and it's actually used in the conventional medicine realm of Chinese medicine also because it's been used for so long, and they've done a lot of studies on cordyceps. A lot of what we're going to be talking about is coming from research out of China. Yeah, it has a lot of different constituents in it, polysaccharides, cordycepin, things like that, that give it its health benefits.
As I think America starts opening their eyes more to what we now call alternative medicine, how long have people started actually using it and bringing it into medicinal practices out here in the States?
It's a good question. I don't know how long it's been used here. I just know how long it's been used in China. I mean, it has been used here for a while, over 50 years as a medicine here by a lot of physicians that understand its therapeutic use. Obviously, it was first used more in the Chinese medicine practitioner realm, and then other physicians started learning about its properties and its health benefits. And there has been research done throughout the world, not just in China, Europe, United States, etc., on cordyceps. So it has been starting to get more fame here in the United States and other Western countries for sure.
What I find interesting about all of it is like from an American standpoint, for most people, I think that we've only looked at medicine in one way, and that's just like what the establishment has taught us. And then we like learn of these other ones and we call them alternative, but like culturally speaking, I mean, there
Yeah.
it's a different approach to medicine, and it's a completely different way of looking at healing and the body and so forth. So I just think it's fascinating. It's almost like math. Like you think you learned math and like this is the way math is done. And then you find out there's a completely other way to do math that like can arrive at the same answers and sometimes faster and sometimes better. So just the same kind of concept. Okay, so let's talk about it. You and I have chatted that there are really 5 really big benefits to cordyceps. And I know we're saving one towards the end that is just beneficial to anyone and everyone, especially in this day and age. But let's start off at the top. The first one that you gave me was that it's actually helpful for anti-aging. Now, I'm a 42-year-old woman. I'm always concerned with how can I stay younger looking longer? How can I keep my body feeling younger and acting younger? Help us out here. How does cordyceps affect the aging process?
So to start, I'm going to be talking about a lot of things that actually have been studied in the literature. There's a lot of other health benefits that have been shown in like traditional medicine that hasn't been actually showed in like the laboratory or et cetera. So today I'm just going to be sharing what actually has some studies behind it, but it likely has a lot of other health benefits as it relates to all these different sections, especially regarding anti-aging. But what we have seen in the anti-aging realm is that we see that it improves energy, improves strength, and improves libido in
Mm.
patients that becoming elderly, like, and usually this is in the people that are 50 and older. So that's going to help you feel younger and more vibrant, because a lot of times people say, oh, I'm just getting older. That means I'm more tired. I'm not able to exercise as well. I don't have the libido anymore because I'm just older. But that's not something you absolutely have to experience when you get older. There's a lot of substances like cordyceps that works really great on improving how you feel and improving your life there. Also, some of the benefits of cordyceps, it has all kinds of different antioxidants in there. Antioxidants are what decreases oxidative damage on our body. Oxidative damage is this fancy word of saying it causing this damage and inflammation throughout the body, making our organs not work as well. So like it damages our kidneys or our heart or our brain or our blood vessels, leading to all these diseases that might kill us in the future. So antioxidants help decrease that trauma that happens and help us have a longer, more fulfilling, enduring life because our organs aren't getting damaged when we're getting these antioxidants. So those are some of the big benefits that come along with taking cordyceps and the health benefits it has for preventing and reducing aging.
You know, one of my kids asked me like, "Hey mom, do you want to do you want to live to like 100? Do you want to live to like 120?" And I've often told them like, "I'm totally down for it. That would be really awesome, but like only if I feel good." Like
Right,
if I
exactly.
feel miserable, like I don't want to live that long. So it seems
Hmm.
like adding cordyceps into, your supplementation, it might be a good way to be able to enjoy enjoy your older years, and maybe
Hmm.
even up to 120. That's great. Okay, so the next one that you have on our list, and I imagine like anything that we really talk about here is ultimately going to help with the aging process, right? Because
Hmm.
as we get older, diseases and so forth just come along with our bodies kind of shutting down and the damage of living a life in a toxic world and so forth. I think any one of these will also contribute to aging, but specifically, let's talk about how it benefits blood sugar and diabetes.
So yeah, what's really cool about cordyceps is it has this mimicking effect on insulin. So what that means is, let's go back a little bit of what diabetes is, especially type 2 diabetes is really what it's shown the most benefit in. And that's when your cells become desensitized to insulin. So you're not able to get sugar inside your cells as well, and blood sugar just stays in your blood, causing all kinds of problems throughout your body, kidney, eye, brain, blood vessel, all kinds of damage that can happen from that. And what we're seeing in cordyceps, it helps improve that insulin production, but at the same time, it helps get that insulin inside your cell more effectively to get that sugar inside your cells. So when people are taking the cordyceps, it improves their blood sugar level because it's improving how your body deals with the sugar, deals with when the insulin is made, is it actually going to be able to do what it's supposed to? So cordyceps has been shown in studies to improve that effect. So when you're taking cordyceps, your blood sugar is going to be lower and it's not going to be as high and it's going to be balanced more effectively. And that's going to lead to it not causing as much trauma throughout the body. And big one is the kidneys. So this is one we're not going to talk a ton about, but a big thing benefit of cordyceps is it has shown to improve kidney function in people with diabetes, and also has shown kidney improvement in kidney function in those dealing with chronic kidney disease. So we've seen their numbers improve when taking cordyceps. This is some of the things we're going to talk about: the anti-inflammatory, blood flow, circulation increase that happens with that, and then the blood sugar benefit that is all helping the kidneys work more efficiently.
Now, so would you say that cordyceps would be something that could prevent diabetes or something that is better, like if you have diabetes, to help keep it under control, or both? How does that
So
work?
it can be a great preventative. Now, so let's say you're eating really junky and taking cordyceps. I don't think it's going to totally prevent it there. But if you're eating well and taking cordyceps, you're going to be much less likely going to get diabetes. And let's not talk about just the diagnosis of diabetes. Let's talk about pre-diabetes too, which is still trauma that's happening to the body. So you still want to keep your blood sugar in a good lower range. So let's say someone's at like a hemoglobin A1C of 5.6. That is still normal, but that's right before 5.7 when you more get in the prediabetes realm. But you're still going to be getting just as much trauma at a 5.6 level as a 5.7 level. So you want to keep your levels under control, and cordyceps is going to help improve that when you're also following good dietary and exercise regimens.
That makes sense. Makes absolute sense. Okay, so you mentioned already kind of mentioned that this can correlate to the anti-inflammatory properties of cordyceps. Let's jump into that next.
Yeah, so it has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties, and what it does is it helps balance out cytokines that are released. So inflammation isn't necessarily bad. We need inflammation, so when we get hurt, we need inflammation to happen for us to heal and regenerate. The problem is when we have this chronic inflammatory state that's happening all the time, or these chronic inflammatory cytokines that are these are little constituents released from our immune system, which will cause damage throughout our body when it's long term. So if you have your immune system being way overstimulated, it's going to cause trauma because that's going to decrease blood flow, circulation, oxygen flow there. It's also going to cause too much fluid there. So your immune system's not able to get in there too much because there's too much blockage. So you're not able to, it's going to cause damage. You're not going to heal very well, etc. So when we take cordyceps, it's going to help decrease that inflammatory reaction that's systemically happening throughout the entire body. And there is research showing it actually being beneficial in helping with specific autoimmune conditions. I've seen that research on it improving rheumatoid arthritis research, also just like osteoarthritis. So when you get older, you get arthritis throughout your body. I'm also seeing it's helping decrease inflammation in the gut in the research. So in the cell lines, we see that there decreases certain inflammatory cytokines, but we're seeing great improvement in several different health conditions also. And a big thing is for general health and anti-aging effect, we want to keep our inflammation under control because every chronic health condition that we have has an inflammatory piece to it. Cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, autoimmune conditions, all of it has an immune piece. So we need to keep that inflammation under control, and cordyceps helps decrease those cytokines being overproduced and improve our health that way. And also just improve pain throughout. Let's say you have like chronic neck pain or chronic knee pain, or you're just getting older and you get those joint aches that you're getting, cordyceps will improve that.
I was even thinking, and I know you're going to talk about this probably later, just even with exercising, there's an inflammatory reaction that can happen from
Mhm.
working out those muscles. So I'm very interested in seeing what you have to say about that once we get to the exercise component. Okay, so then moving on, obviously, you know, disease in general is rooted in inflammation. So I imagine this inflammation can play, the anti-inflammatory effects can play a role in the heart. You have specifically on our list that cordyceps can actually help specifically with people who have cardiovascular issues.
So
Is this
yeah,
preventative? Is this if you already have the condition? How does it help?
all the above. So it can be a great preventative. Also can help you if you're dealing with cardiovascular disease. So it does so many things for the heart. So that's what's great about it. We already talked about the anti-inflammatory piece, which is very important because how you form a plaque and get a heart attack, the biggest, most important thing is not the cholesterol. It is really the inflammation around the blood vessel. That's the stickiness of it. But what's so great about cordyceps is it actually decreases that inflammatory piece, but it also decreases LDL. LDL is the bad cholesterol throughout our body. That's what's actually stored. So what we're getting with cordyceps is we're decreasing that bad LDL and we're decreasing that inflammation. So we're decreasing the stickiness and the stuff that sticks to it. So it's going to decrease your ability to get a stroke or heart attack when you're taking cordyceps. Obviously, it's not the only thing you should take, but it can be a great benefit on top of diet and exercise to improve your risk of getting a heart attack or stroke. What's great about it also is that we see actually in the Chinese government and in the Chinese healthcare system, cordyceps is recognized as a mainstream treatment for a decrease in arrhythmia. That is an imbalance of signals going to your heart that's making your heart not pump appropriately. So it's a spasming or making too much pumps at a certain time, and it can be really uncomfortable. Also, this increases your potential of getting a stroke or heart attack because it causes turbulence in the blood vessels and leads to these platelets getting overshook and leading to a clot. I mean, that will then go throughout the body. So what can happen with cordyceps, it will improve that signal to the heart and improve the arrhythmia. So there's a great benefit there. Also, what we see, probably because of some of the blood sugar benefit too, is that triglycerides levels go down. So you don't have as many fat hanging out in your blood, making your blood become sluggish and having its ability to clot more readily when you have all this fat hanging out in there. And also that fat will form in our blood vessels and form a plaque. So cordyceps is shown to improve the triglycerides levels there. So there's so many benefits that happen with cordyceps and improving your cardiovascular health. So if you're dealing with cardiovascular issues, cordyceps will be so beneficial because usually people that are dealing with cardiovascular disease, okay, they have heart issues, but guess what? That can lead to kidney issues. And then cordyceps helps improve your kidney function. So you're getting so many other benefits throughout the body. So if you're dealing with cardiovascular disease, one of the best things you could be taking is cordyceps mushrooms.
That makes a lot of sense. And it seems like, going back to that inflammatory piece to affect with all of this, connecting to the next one that you have on this list is when you're in the state of chronic inflammation all the time, which is leading to all these other issues. One of the other negative effects is that it can lower your immune system. So now that you're more susceptible to letting cancer take over, which you have on this list here, the anti-tumor benefits of it. Can you explain more? How is it actually helping? Is it helping shrink tumors or prevent the tumors, cancer from taking over the body? I know we all, in a sense, have cancer in our body at some point, but our immune systems are able to take care of it. How does this work?
What it can do is it does improve our immune system. Like you're saying, our immune system gets decreased. Yes, that is a major cause and why people get cancer. For some reason, the immune system gets suppressed and it's not able to gobble up all these defective cells, mutated cells that we're forming all the time. And then the cells start to replicate out of control. So Cordyceps mushrooms has been shown in the research improve something called leukopenia, which is too little white blood cell production. So this has been showing improvement. Let's say people that are doing cancer treatments like chemotherapy or radiation that are decreasing their white blood cell counts. Cordyceps has been used to improve that white blood cell production, so you don't get so much of the side effects of the chemotherapy that can happen. Also, that's just the benefit of improving your cancer outcomes, is improving your white blood cell production. So that's a big piece there. We're also seeing in cell lines when we do in vitro studies and we do it in the lab and we take out, let's say, this is specific cell lines that have been studied: colon cancer and skin cancer and liver cancer and lung cancer. So when the cell gets damaged, the cell then goes through a process called apoptosis, which is it starts killing itself and dying. And then that sends out these little signals, and then our immune system sees that signal, like our macrophages, then goes and gobbles it up. Cordyceps, when it exposed in these cell lines, has shown benefit in improving that apoptosis of the cell lines. So we're getting improvement of actually damaging and killing the cancers, but also improving our white blood cell production. And then we're getting all these other side benefits that we're talking about, which we need when we're treating cancer. It's not about just killing the cancer. It's about improving all the functions throughout our body so we're able to fight off these cancer cells better.
Amazing. It's, what I love about it is just seeing, like, not only how it can actually help, prevent, but also fight. And if you are doing traditional treatment, actually help you be able to endure that as well. It really seems like this is so helpful for so many different conditions. Now, the last one that we have, we had talked a little bit about how just really this is beneficial for anyone. Like, so whether, maybe you're young, maybe you don't have blood sugar issues, maybe you don't have cardiovascular issues, family, you're not concerned about tumors and so forth, but just how it benefits exercise and energy, which I think, anybody who's trying to live a healthy life, we want to exercise. And then, living this day and age, man, I mean, we we need energy. Talk to us. How does
Well,
this mushroom help us with that?
this is personally my favorite reason why I love cordyceps, and it's become a major routine in my life now to improve my energy and exercise endurance. So let's talk about how it works by doing this. This is the funnest part of it. So a lot of people think, oh, caffeine gives me energy, but we've talked about in other podcasts and YouTube channels is caffeine actually depletes your body. It gives you energy because it's depleting certain energy stores, whatever. Cordyceps, what it does is actually improves your body's ability to make energies. That's what's so cool about it. It increases oxygen consumption inside your cells, and that improvement leads to increased ATP production, which is the fancy word of what our body actually uses for energy production. So it's improving that oxygen consumption, actually making our cells work better. Also, what's so cool about it too is we go through three different cycles to make ATP. We go the pyruvate cycle, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain. So the beginning point is the pyruvate cycle. So we go through several processes, goes to pyruvate, then it has to enter the Krebs cycle. But let's say you're not getting enough oxygen. So when you're exercising, let's say you're running and your muscles get tired and they start to burn, it's because the body's not getting enough oxygen, and then you're not shuttling that pyruvate in, and it's being transferred over into lactic acid, which is an acid which makes your muscles burn. What cordyceps does, it helps decrease that transfer of pyruvate to lactic acid, so it's able to enter the Krebs cycle and keep your muscles working, so they don't get that burning sensation as well, and they don't become as fatigued. When you get that buildup of lactic acid, your muscles are going to be fatigued and they're just going to stop. So when we're able to
Yeah.
improve that pyruvate, get into our cells and decrease that lactic acid production, we're going to feel more energetic. We're going to feel like we have longer endurance, and we're going to be able to perform an exercise routine longer, or just basic things that we do in our life, like lifting boxes or walking up the stairs or whatever, all these things are going to improve when we're taking cordyceps because it's increasing the ATP production and also decreasing that lactic acid production. So that's what's really awesome about that. Also, what we have seen, and I forgot to talk about this in the anti-aging aspect too, but we'll talk about it now. In the elderly, it has shown to actually improve the Vo2 Max. So a Vo2 Max is how much your heart can beat.
Hmm.
So the more your heart beats, the more oxygen in your body and more blood flow and nutrients that are going to get throughout your body. So you're going to be able to exercise better and have more stamina. So there actually were studies that has shown that the VO2 max increased by 7% in people that were doing exercises. So that's really cool about it too, is it will increase your body's ability to pump more. So when you get older, your heart rate decreases. That's just what happens. When you're younger,
Mm-hmm.
you're able to get higher heartbeats. So VO2 max is how much your heart can beat when you're in full endurance mode. You're running as fast as you can and moving as fast as you can. How much does your heart actually beat, your heart rate? So if we're able to actually improve that heart rate, that's going to improve how hard you're able to be able to exercise. So these are some of the great, awesome benefits that can come there. So if you're taking cordyceps, you're going to just be able to feel like you're more energetic, feel better endurance, and you're just going to feel more well-being and be able to accomplish the tasks you have better. So when you have more ATP production, that also means that your brain cells has more ATP, which then means you're going to be able to focus and concentrate more effectively. So there's a lot of benefits that are going to be coming from cordyceps, and that's why I really love it, because it just helps my general well-being and helps me accomplish things more effectively.
Well, and it seems like in this day and age, I constantly see people, going when I go to the gym, I'll see this, or just pretty much anywhere where either people have like a Monster that
Yeah,
they're
for sure.
drinking, and they think like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm going to go to the gym, so I'm going to drink a Monster, and then I'm going to just like pump a bunch of
Mhm.
weights, and
Mhm.
so forth, or even just how much coffee people are drinking these days. It seems like
Yep.
we want energy. We're doing a lot more. There's so many more things that we're wanting to do, so we're trying to keep up our energy throughout the day. And it seems like cordyceps is a much healthier way of doing it. It's not tapping our adrenals, it's not causing inflammation, it's not messing up our
Mhm.
gut. It's actually
Yep.
helping our heart, it's helping our blood sugar and so forth. So it seems like that's the best way. So instead of chugging a Monster before you go to the gym, what are some of your favorite ways for people to take cordyceps
So
in their daily
cordyceps
life?
could be taken in several different ways. You could get it in a powder form. You could get it in like a tincture form, means that it's extracted in an alcohol. You could get it in a capsule form, which is just a powder in a capsule. My favorite way to do it is I really like it into a drink. And when you put mushrooms into like a hot water, it helps extract out some of the substances even more effectively. So you're going to get a little bit extra benefit there when you take it that way than if you just take it like straight up, even though you're going to get benefits there straight with the powder. But when we put it in hot water, it helps leak out some of these constituents like the cordyceps and things like that are so beneficial for the body. And I put it in a substance that I created, a product that I created called Terra Brew. I created this product because my patients were pounding the monsters or pounding the coffee, and I knew this was making their health worse, especially those patients that were coming to me feeling tired all the time and really dragging. They were using a lot of caffeine, which actually maybe give them a little boost, but actually was making their condition worse and worse. So I wanted to create a product that would actually help them out and make them feel better, but it wouldn't make them worse. So I created Terra Brew, which has cordyceps in it. It has other mushroom extracts in there and some herbs in there to help increase your energy, your focus, your concentration, get all these other health benefits that we talked about in one drink. If you want to learn more about mushrooms and other supplements, click on the video to the right. I'm Dr. Jake, and I'll see you there.